Applied biological control of insects. Colonization refers to the field release and manipulation of imported natural enemies for their establishment and to favor their spread and increase in a new environment. The natural enemy must be permanently established in at least one locality for success to be claimed. Then this serves as a locus for its natural spread or as a field colony and source of material for redistribution efforts. Mass culture and periodic release of natural enemies. Seasonal inoculative release. Release of biological control agents in an area in which they cannot survive permanently due to severe climatic or other constraints. The expectation is that they will establish a population that will persist for some fraction of a year. Importation and release of biological control agents into an area in which they are not already present with intent to establish a permanent population. Example: a Mexican bean beetle spread decades ago to the northeastern USA where it does average severe damage. A wasp was found in India that attacks Mexican bean beetle and its close relatives, but the only close relative in the USA are also pests. Unfortunately, the wasp cannot survive winters in the northeastern USA, so small number of the wasps are maintained in an insectary and some of them are released at the beginning of each growing season in bean growing areas. They attack the Mexican bean beetle, reproduce, control the numbers of the beetle throughout the growing season and die in winter. So that's about mass culture and periodic release of natural enemies. Seasonal inoculative release. Example B. Seasonal inoculative release of a South American flea beetle are used to control alligator weed in more temperate areas where the plant has become invasive. Then intentative biological control. Release of large number of biological control agents relative to the numbers of a target species in expectation of rapid effect. There is no implication that the release of biological control agent will establish a permanent population. Advantage: environmental friendly and do not add any pollutant into the environment. Another most important advantage of this method is its selectivity, specific pest target strategy. Unlike the chemical and other control methods, this method controls the pest meant to target and do not harm the other species or plant. Therefore, danger or damage to non-target plant species is restricted. This natural control method do not arise any new complication like conventional pesticides. However, the side effects may not be totally excluded, though it rarely appears. Once the natural enemies are introduced into the environment, they release the target pest population and sustain their own population as well. Therefore, after initial introduction, very little effort is required to keep the system in balance. Biological control agents will increase in their number and spread. They are self-propagating, dispersing, and self-perpetuating too. Pest is unable to or very slow to develop resistance. Pest is unable or very slow to develop resistance. Some example of defense mechanism that could developed by pests are escape behavior or repellent chemicals. Biological control methods in a specific area can be kept in a place for long time than the chemical or other control methods which require repetitive application. Biological control methods are also cost effective as they are needed to be applied only once. Once the cost of testing once the cost of testing and introducing control agents has been met, the ongoing costs are small. In most cases, there is no need to find and identify every individual weed to be treated. An effective agent will search out all suitable plants of the weed. Biological control has no adverse effect on human health or the environment. Biological control is self-sustaining. Once the initial research work has been completed and the biological control agents released, little or no further money is developed required. Unlike certain herbicides, development of host resistance is not normally a problem. Biological control is compatible with most other control techniques except sometimes use of insecticides and herbicides. Biological control reduces the vigor competitiveness and reproductive capacity of the weed, making it more manageable. Biological control methods are also cost effective. Then disadvantages: some will have high dispersal ability and will become invasive. Then lupines, slow process and require load of time and patience for producing long-term effect. This method only reduces the number of pest population. It does not completely wipe out the pest as the chemical control methods. The introduction of natural enemies in a new environment need to carry out extensive research work to achieve the desirable results against climatic constraints. Due to the reliability of natural enemies in environment conditions, biological control is often unpredictable. Another disadvantages of biological control is that, wait a minute, this method only reduces the number of pest population. The introduction of natural enemies in an environment need to carry out extensive research work to achieve the desirable result against climatic constraints. Due to the reliability of natural enemies on environmental conditions, biological control is often unpredictable. Another disadvantage of biological control is that it does not exterminate the pest, just suppress below. Selectivity is a major advantage of biological control method. However, it could also be disadvantages since natural enemies are specific. The other pests which are not affected would cause damage. Biological control agents are expensive to find. The greatest expense is during the field survey and early testing stage, which must be conducted overseas. Suitable agents may not even exist. Potential agents are also expensive to test with specificity. Host specificity testing may take several years to complete because of the need for thoroughness. However, herbicides often take as long and cost even more to develop. Biological control can never eradicate a pest organism completely because if the control agent reduces the pest population too far, it destroys its own food source. Biological control operates over large areas, therefore it cannot be limited to individual properties or paddock.